Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about Idubbbzz, because oh boy how the apparently mighty have fallen. And well, the backlash surrounding a recent video released by Idubbbzz has been quite oh so good. Video titled Addressing the Froggy Fresh Drama. As you can see from this image, it hasn't done very well on the likes dislike. And no, that's not my disliking the video in the slightest. I did watch it, all 26 minutes of it, and I will admit, it's not one of his finest videos. Many of us will say, Content Cop was where it was at. Actually, I felt his commentary across the board for years was very good. He set a standard for many to aspire towards. Some of us, will never be as good as that. In the case of Idubbbzz though, he has, and it happens to everyone, changed. Nothing wrong with that, but with that change has come a rather unique, totally original interpretation of facts. Because he's getting pussy. Yeah. So what I thought I'd do today is go through some Twitter responses and some videos that have been released by Froggy Fresh, some black guy, Crips Donovan, concerning the event itself and their own perspectives on what Idubbbzz has said within his video. I did notice some people have pointed out that Idubbbzz's views have tanked of late. He doesn't really make much content these days. So is it a surprise when you're not as frequent an uploader, and also in the past you would have been considered a bit on the haram side of the tracks? Yeah. So to the first tweet, we have a video from Froggy Fresh, who has responded to the Idubbbzz video by saying the following.
Idubbbzz, I saw your video. You put my face on SpongeBob SquarePants. You said I was a meanie. You said I don't respect sex workers. I'm going to tell you something. Have you ever seen Ricky Martin in Living La Vida Loca? Have you ever seen that man move? That man is a sex worker. And I respect that man. So you explain that.
Being the old man that I am, I have no idea what he actually said. The debacle concerning removing Froggy Fresh from the event has spiraled for a while. For example, you have somebody whose name I can't pronounce saying, Nuclear Take apparently, this is a good video. Idubbbzz not associating with a guy who openly harasses him and his wife is completely fair. Froggy was acting like a knob in this situation. And I'll admit I was wrong, Ian really put into perspective for me, rare, whatever your name is, L. Included is an image when you had, whatever your name is, said, removing Froggy Fresh from the event because he trained with someone they don't like is one of the most insecure and pathetic things I have seen in a while. Reply, openly harassed apparently is equal to making fun of them on the internet. Augie had retweeted this with, it's fine for Ian to not want to work with Sam Hyde. Good thing he never had to. Sam privately trained a fighter at his event, literally doesn't affect it at all. And Ian was indirect with Froggy in the text messages. Froggy asked Ian multiple times if it was too far. Even if you're being ultra charitable to Idubbbzz, it doesn't really work. His video was shit because it was 26 minutes of him saying Sam is too mean. Sure. Why does that matter though? It doesn't. Reply, which provides some rather fascinating context. All of the clips he played were of Sam after Ian went to Rhode Island to film a hit-piece documentary on Sam, clearly trying to ruin him, and of Froggy after he spent months and months training to fight just to be kicked 3 months out. Idubbbzz brought it on himself, and pretty much became the stereotypical LA comedian who has an overly offensive career only to then turn on most of his audience and pretend he's this giant changed man, despite being 27 when calling his fans those words that I can't say because I'm not that stupid. Donovan, aka Death Crips, who is exceedingly funny on Twitter, if you don't follow him already, you really should, tweeted, excited for everyone to finally see my collaboration with Idubbbzz. Accompanying that is an 11-second clip from the Addressing the Froggy Fresh drama video.
A lot of it's not explicitly said, but when you listen to the jokes, it's like, oh, that's actually just your opinion phrased in a comedic way.
There I am, Gary, there I am!
Some type of nerd right last year.
Replies to Crip include actually good video. Froggy turned out to be biblically cringe. Donovan, completely disagree. Cult of Death think, you are still the most entertaining thing in that video. Donovan replies, I bring the fun everywhere I go. And finally, me and my husband both saw you and were like, exclamation marks. Donovan, it was a long and hard process to get something like this pulled off, but I would say we did something together that we were both we can both be proud of. Can you tell he's a comedian? I like Donovan. Because Beau Blacks is a fantastic creator, he saw this situation and replied, sequel time, because he has in fact done a video called Twitter versus Idubbbzz. And underneath linked the second video. I highly recommend you all go check it out. It will be in the pinned comment with all the sources. He later on tweeted, "This call out makes no sense. Ian legit forgot that influencer boxing is about entertainment first and foremost." Included is a picture of Wings versus Boogie, because that's coming up soon, and I'm actually quite excited, because both of them are doing it. I am actually quite proud of them, something which is echoed by Josh, who says, "I'm super proud of Boogie and Wings for stepping up to the plate by getting outside of their comfort zone and risking their health for our entertainment. That's dedication. Ian shouldn't be shitting on it." Reply. He is saying that some of the misfit matches are amateur and not high skill to debunk Froggy's claim that he would not find a boxer to be paired with of JIS skill level. He did not say these matches were not entertaining. Did you even watch? LOL. Josh. And then he brought up the one match that isn't high skill to debunk Froggy. The whole Misfits event isn't a bunch of 400+ pound men swinging at each other. That's just one for fun match. For the sake of it, Wings versus Boogie is going to be very slow. It's going to be very heavy-handed, and there's going to be swinging quite aimlessly. Of course it is. They're not trained, but they are stepping up to the plate to do this for a bit of entertainment. Why not? Make a little money as well. Being a part of a card at the OVO Arena, Wembley in London, it's a decent-sized venue, and people are going to watch them. And for the people like Boogie and Wings, this could bring additional audience to them, which, to be honest, at this stage of their careers, they need. I do too, but not enough to get in a ring with either of them. And I'll be honest, anyone who responds like Davidino did there, Davidino, whatever, tells me you watched it but failed to comprehend it. Ryan Beard. To the people who are anti-Idubbbzz, at what point would you think it's reasonable to set up a boundary you didn't want to associate with the friends of someone who repeatedly insults you and your wife? Do you think people should even have these type of boundaries? Obviously, Idubbbzz has also insulted a lot of people in the past, like Leafy, Rice Gum, etc. But I also think it would be reasonable if Leafy didn't want to associate with Idubbbzz. I'm just confused by this idea that people should have no boundaries with the people who insult them. Like, I've shit on Sneeko a lot, and if Sneeko didn't want to associate with me, I think that would be totally reasonable. I don't want to associate with him. Certain people on the internet just aren't meant to interact with each other, in my opinion. Jaylin. I personally think yes. But this event was for charity. I don't think he should have let his personal feelings get in the way. And I don't know the context, but not associating with the friend of someone you dislike has always seemed petty to me. You can do it, but it makes you petty. And the final one in this particular thread, why does Sam repeatedly insult them? Because they banned him from even attending the event. Ultimately, it does boil down to that, in its most simplistic form possible, which does show a level of fragility on Idubbbzz, somebody who for years was untouchable. Ever since his wife started an OnlyFans, and he spoke about it in video form really badly, he has become the punchline to many jokes. And those jokes aren't going to stop anytime soon. They're not going to stop now because you've opened the floodgates. The dam has been broken. You showed weakness on the internet, and what did you think was going to happen? Oh, that's right. You more than likely thought you were going to be safe. Idubbbzz has been on a blocking spree because of it. A great example of that, by the way, that ties into Ryan Beard is Leafy being blocked by Idubbbzz. I don't mind people having their freedom to block. I really don't. I take no issue with it. I'm blocked by many. I have one person blocked. One. Because they're a stalker. Beyond that, I won't block anyone, because it turns out my principles are greater than Idubbbzz, although others have speculated the real reason why his seem to have changed over the years. Pimpmaster Broder. Seeing the regression of Idubbbzz is painful, as it seems in the era of edgy YouTubers only a few made it out with their sanity and dignity intact. Is there any chance for redemption in this dark road, or is there a no place to hide for Idubbbzz? Wait, I've misread that, haven't I? Sugartits retweeted, only the strong survive. And if you don't follow her on Twitter, you really should, because she'll tweet everything and I love her. The Quartering. Watched the Idubbbzz vid. Hearing him unironically refer to mean words online as harassment. Oof. Thing is, Ian made all of those choices not his girl. I have a strong suspicion that his wife is the first girl he's ever had sex with. He's willingly cucked, blaming her doesn't fit. It's really hard to blame the guy for being the way he is when half the internet is calling his wife a whore. This is who Ian is now. Shitting on him feels mean-spirited now. The man got a crumb of pussy and abandoned everything he believed. Fellas out there, I bet you've had a friend at some point who turned out just like this. I know I did. Dudes like Horatio Sands in Tomcats, if you're old enough to remember that movie. I am but don't. Reply, how about you stay focused on real issues affecting people in your state and your country and do good with your platform rather than telling them to get into these feuds? You're getting a bit fallen in the arches with all this infighting. That's right, you tell the quartering to work on videos, while he sits on Twitter asking Twitter what they want him to make videos on. Beau Blacks had retweeted Ryan Beard's tweet by saying, for me the key word here is friends with someone who repeatedly insults you and your wife. It's guilt by association. Sam is an adult. Froggy can't control and micromanage what he says online, and I think it's unfair that Froggy gets punished for stuff someone else said. Idubbbzz being a good partner or husband, by not associating with people who relentlessly trash his wife, is 100% a good thing. I don't think it's cucked, it's respectable. But Froggy isn't the person who did that, it was Sam. Reply, I disagree. I think it's perfectly reasonable given the circumstances. Yeah, I thought I'd screw it up first because how it's spelt. Beau Blacks, well, even if you disagree, I hope you can see my perspective and not write me off as some incel edgelord who just wants Ian to go back to saying the N-word. Ryan Beard, in your own life, if you found out that one of your friends became friends with someone who constantly insults you and your girlfriend, would you care? Josh, it depends on how close I am to that person. If they directly supported the things the other person said about my wife, I don't mind if people are friends with someone I dislike. And that continues, but I've archived it. So I boomed it. Sorry, folks. By the way, this is actually a remarkably respectful interaction. Doesn't feel like Twitter, does it? Some black guy, YouTuber I remember from the days of the anti-SJWs, put out a 2-minute video on Twitter, tweeted out a little thread with it saying, Idubbbzz Froggy Fresh drama reminds me of Bill Burr and Anthony Cumia? Yeah, Cumia? I don't know who he is. Fallout. People out here trying to act like they wouldn't do the same thing if they were in the same situation. Froggy even said he didn't like the vibe of creator clash, so severing ties was the only move that made sense. Why stay on an event you don't even like? If a friend or business partner was associating with somebody who was relentlessly shitting on my wife, we absolutely wouldn't be cool anymore. They have every right to pursue a relationship with that person, but I have every right to sever ties with said friend. Reply of interest. 1. Bill Burr's wife wasn't directly comparable to Yoko Ono. 2. Whoever that is did it directly where Froggy's trainer Sam said the things. None of this compares at all. Reply to them, it honestly doesn't matter what you might think of someone's wife. Your love is who you place first, otherwise it's not love at all. And at the bottom, okay, let's try another example, Will and his wife and Chris Rock, so maybe when comedy is involved it's not so clear. Been watching your video since the Skeptic days, but I don't feel this is your best argument, dude. I should probably play a little clip of that video, shouldn't I?
Essentially, this situation reminds me of Bill Burr. Bill Burr had a falling out with Anthony Cumia of, former Opie and Anthony. Anthony Cumia, kind of scummy. He said some not so nice things about Bill Burr's wife, called her ugly and all this stuff. And obviously, naturally, Bill Burr wants absolutely nothing to do with Anthony Cumia. Bill Burr every year does this benefit, this Patricia O'Neill benefit, because he died back in like 2011 or something. And Anthony Cumia is not, he's banned essentially. He's not invited to this thing anymore. He can't participate, right? For obvious reasons. And if you look at the internet's reaction to this, people in the comedy scene, everyone understands. They totally understand. Anthony Cumia even recently tried to make amends and Bill Burr was not having it. He's like, nah, man, you're a scumbag. Had him kicked out of this club they were at. Anthony was all mad, but the internet again understood. So when it comes to Idubbbzz and the situation with Froggy Fresh and Sam Hyde, how the f*** is that any different?
Boogie2988 addressed the situation by saying, I wasn't expecting to get dragged as talentless in the Idubbbzz video. I get the point he was making by saying I'm not a professional boxer, but I've been training my ass off and trying to change my life. Felt like a pretty low blow, haha, boxing joke. Reply, bro, are you actually training though, not just punching a bag 1 to 2 times then done? Boogie replies, could be doing more, but doing more than that for sure. I look forward to seeing you perform. One final tweet from Beau Blacks. Idubbbz's drama video has been out for 28 hours and still hasn't cracked 1 million views. He's lost so much relevance, it's insane to think he once had the whole platform looking at him when a new video dropped, considering how his videos do now. Omni replied, but he seems happy. Beau Blacks. He doesn't seem happy. 2 months ago, he sent texts to Froggy talking about how he's miserable from being constantly harassed by Sam Hyde, and he cried saying, I know I'm not everyone's isn't cut his, after losing his boxing match. That's happiness for you, everyone. Yeah, that's. My take on the situation is as follows. It was for charity. It's been handled poorly by Idubbbzz especially. He has handled this quite badly. How could he have handled it better? Not the way he's done it. That would have been a great starting point. A lesson to learn for future reference. Guilt by association is a tricky and very slippery slope to navigate. I would not recommend it. And this is a great case study to prove that using guilt by association is a bad idea. I still don't quite understand how Sam Hyde can be so but, I don't really give a shit, do I?